What's good, guys? Quincy Jones here. Bro, man, today is amazing. I never thought that I would see the day I would meet a professor. But before that, we will get to that part of the conversation, right? Sorry, professor at MIT. Right. Okay. And Manhattan College as well.
Yes.
Either way, ladies and gentlemen, I need you to give a warm welcome to an amazing artist who cares for actual sound, right? Sound as far as the instrumentation and how it is passed on and digested by the lovely consumers that we are. Don't know about you, but guys, welcome, UDEIGWE.
Thank you very much. Thank you,
My
Quincy.
guy. It's nice to have you here, Professor.
It's good to be here. Thank you.
I don't. Okay, how are you? And we need to exchange pleasantries at least.
Yes,
How are
sir.
you? How are things?
I'm doing well. I mean, we're in Lagos.
Yeah?
Yeah. I arrived a week ago,
Yeah.
getting to 10 days now. Usually when I arrive, malaria hits me. But this
Really?
time I'm lucky enough that it didn't.
Yeah, you decided to stay in better areas.
Yeah, I mean, so it did not. So I'm happy about that. Even though I got a little weak, but now I'm strong enough. We just did a recording at Echooroom and it went really well. Yeah, that's it. So I'm having fun.
That's lovely.
Hoping to do more music related things. Yeah.
How long are you in the country for?
Maybe I'll be here another 10 days. Yeah, 10 more days. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
No, that's okay. That's
Yeah.
okay. Provided that you stop by here, it's nice to have you here, man.
Thank you very much.
I've been spazzing. I mean, before we began the interview, I've been spazzing about you being a professor.
Yes.
At Manhattan College and also visiting professor at the MIT.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, everybody watching this can tell we only hear of MIT professors in movies, and then they have to solve like very serious problems.
Yes.
You know? Yeah. How does that feel? Or is it just an
how does it
everyday
feel?
life for you?
It's my job, so it
Yeah?
feels like job for me. To me, yeah. So, yeah. I'm a mathematician. I'm trained in mathematics. I got my bachelor's, master's, and PhD.
What would be the reason on God's green earth for you to choose the most difficult subject, right? I mean, by population and by agreement and consensus.
Okay.
The most difficult subject to say, look, that's going to be my first degree, next degree, and I'm going to be a professor at this particular subject.
Yes. Okay. That's a good question. But in any field we choose to pursue in this world, I think the challenge is what attracts us. You know, that's what makes it rewarding and fulfilling. Like for instance, I was with a movie director and who was directing my video, music video, and when you're in a music video set, you realize that there are a bunch of things that ends up getting done that can be done with very piecing together of very little things. And I saw that this kid, he was very younger than me. I saw that this kid just relishes piecing very simple things and using it to build complex things. And I saw that challenge is what attracts him. So any field we choose, for me, mathematics is a challenge that's a reward that makes it rewarding for me. Yes, it's a difficult subject. I agree, it is. But I didn't pick it to show that, okay, I can do something difficult. I pick it because the challenge of solving things, you know, or being able to be a problem solver I find it rewarding. Yeah. I don't know
lovely.
if I answered your question.
Very well, very well. My question to you now is, I think that whatever we practice in general, it has its or takes its toll mentally.
Yes.
Right. In terms of how we view life and people and stuff like that. You think that you were able to amass that level of examination of this particular individual, the music video director, the way that you did, or appreciate what he was doing because of what you do?
I think yes. I think the rigor of involved in mathematics and even involved in music makes me appreciate that. Appreciate whenever I see that somebody is enjoying the challenge of what they do, it makes me appreciate it.
Mm.
And I hope that's how it is for everybody.
No, it's not.
You know? Okay, yeah. I actually agree with you. Yeah, it's actually not, and that's sad because I'm also a musician. That's what brought me here.
Obviously.
And I'm noticing that the way we treat musicians, when I say musicians, I mean the people who play instrumentalists, the way we treat them is shabby to say the least, because and it's because we don't understand the amount of effort, the amount of drilling, the amount of work that goes into becoming a proficient instrumental musician. So when they do what they do, when they play the horns they play or the piano they play, we just think, oh, this is what they chose to do, so it's easy for them. No, it takes work, it takes a constant work to get to that level. And again, it's that challenge, that the reward of mastering that, being able to conquer that challenge that drives them to do it. So I think appreciating that is important.
How many instruments can you play?
Actually, I'm not that diverse. I play the piano. At a point in time, I wanted to master an instrument and be able to play the heck out of my songs on that instrument, and I chose the piano. There was a time I played the drum, but I stopped playing. So the piano, I dabble on the guitar every now and then.
Yeah. I saw you do something which is essentially directing music.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Telling your is it the guy handling the trumpet, and this other guy saxophone, and all of these, and it was lovely to watch.
Yes.
Did you learn that, or?
Yes, I learned music theory. Even though when I meet some instrumental musicians, how good they are, I tend not to present myself as a musician. I just
why?
I don't know, because they're so good.
You are a musician by degree.
No, I don't have a degree in music.
Okay.
But I read a lot. I actually went to, I would call it evening school for music when I was in Pittsburgh, when I was working on my PhD actually. And when I was in Pittsburgh, so for like 6 years, I would go to school, it's called the Afro-American Music Institute. It's in Homewood, Pittsburgh. And they don't award degrees, but it's a very, very well-known institution or institute amongst the jazz community all over the US. The director, his name is Dr. James Johnson, and he's a professor at the University of Pittsburgh. All the top jazz musicians stop by there. I don't know if anybody knows, the people watching, if you guys know of, whether you know James Moody. He's passed on now. Yeah, but he's a well-known horn player. One day he stopped by the institute and he taught us a bunch of things. There was something he taught me about how to voice minor chords on the piano, and I still take that with me till today. So I learned a lot. What I learned, I wouldn't say it's equivalent to having a music degree, but it helped me a lot. I'm able to communicate with musicians at all levels. I talk to musicians who have master's degree, who have their MFA, and I'm able to communicate with them and tell them, this is what I want you to play. Yes, that chord, maybe put the D flat under or something like that, and it's quite easy for me. So yeah.
So your PhD was in
what? In mathematics.
Lovely. So you thought that getting a PhD in math was not enough.
Yeah.
You decided to go study music at the same time.
Because I wanted to do music. That's
addiction to problem solving.
Yes,
I'm joking.
Yeah.
Now, at what point did you really genuinely say, look, I love math.
Yes.
But I also love music.
Okay.
Which came first? Let's start there.
They've always come together, to be honest.
Math and music.
Yes. It's not like there's a connection, but that's not what I'm talking about. I've always practiced both. I've always had love for mathematics. In WAEC, I did WAEC. I went to school in Makodi, Mount St. Gabriel Secondary School, the same secondary school that Two-Face graduated from.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I think he was finishing when I was entering, So I did math, I did further math and everything. So then I went to the US, But while in
What
secondary,
did you get in WAEC math?
I got A1. So I don't know.
I'm at level now.
So I got an A.
Person say one go study math for as BSc.
Yeah.
Then math, you say, right on, Pastor.
So when I while in secondary school, I loved music. I did.
Had you started playing an instrument?
I hadn't, to be honest. I hadn't started playing an instrument, but I was in a choir and I listened to Warren G, Snoop Dogg, and all those things. And I just started getting interested in music. But when I moved to the US, I discovered jazz as an undergrad. That was when I started taking piano lessons here and there and started reading music theory, So, and when I graduated with my bachelor's degree, I didn't feel like working, like going to get a job. And I still wanted to do music. So I said to myself, make you no come turn useless with this music. So you should probably go to grad school since you still have this math in you. So my goal was to go to grad school, get a PhD, then become a professor, and then get rid of this music bug, that's pursuing me.
It still didn't go.
Yeah, it didn't go. So while in grad school, that was when I said, okay, I'm just going to be in grad school, but when the little time I have, I'll do music by the side. So while in grad school, I actually formed my first band.
Interesting.
Yeah, in 2008, long
Nice.
time ago. Yeah, that was when I formed my band in Pittsburgh, and we played around Pittsburgh. We played around Pittsburgh and the metropolis until 2014. That was when I moved. I got a job as an assistant professor at Manhattan College. I moved to New York. While there, I took maybe 1 year to settle down with the job. Then I formed my band again in New York, and we kept playing. We've been playing
What's the
since
band
then.
called?
It's just my name. I usually just go by my name, and the reason is UDEIGWE. There was a time I was Lawrence Chuno. Yeah, I had. It's a long story.
You had different phases.
Yeah, different phases. So I changed my name. I've been since I go blow with Lawrence Chuno. I thought.
And now based on English name now.
Yes, I thought. But then my UDEIGWE name became stronger because it's an academic name. So I was climbing in the academic. So I'm just like, I just want to be one person.
Yes.
So I just merged it. So I continued playing in Pittsburgh. In New York. Until now. And the first time I ventured into the Niger scene was 2013. I had a single I promoted actually in Nigeria. It didn't do so much, but after that, I just focused on the US. So in my career has revolved around playing in New York and around the area. And every now and then I travel.
How often do you get booked in the US? Just random thought.
I get booked a lot, but I usually didn't take a lot of gigs, Now I'm tenured and I got promoted, and hopefully I'll get promoted to like full professor. And then I can confidently say that I'm combining my math and my music. That music I want to do.
Sorry, I wanted to ask earlier. Mm-hmm. Do you invite your students to your shows? Or is it wrong?
It's not wrong. They know about me now. Before I used to hide it. That was hence the Lawrence Chuno name, because I wanted my math career to be on this path and my music career to be on this path. But at a point in time, I'm like, okay, this is chaotic. So I just changed my name to UDEIGWE. And my students, they found out, they're like, oh, you do music? And I'm like, yes. Before I used to hide it from them, And my music, the song that made my student become really interested in my music is a song I did with Scales. It's called Do. Yeah, we had a music video, well shot in, I think, Lekki Peninsula. Yeah, and it's a nice music video. And there are some Nigerian students there, Well, some of them are Americans, but they're connected to Afrobeats. Yes. Yeah. So they found out, they're like, yo, UDEIGWE. we saw your video with skills. I'm like, yes, I do music. And they kind of spread it
Quick.
spread it quick. So whenever I pass, I see they're like, yeah, that's
That's
professor.
my professor.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
Nice. It must be the source of joy.
yes, it is.
It all seems fulfilling, conquering all of these feats.
And
What would you
I don't
say
know, I
has
wouldn't say if
been?
I've conquered, but yeah,
Oh, you've
it's,
conquered quite enough.
Yeah.
You've conquered quite enough.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you're not a source of inspiration to anybody, then that's where the
Yes.
problem is.
Yes.
Saying that to say, it's all good news.
Yes.
But what has been the roughest time for you in music?
In music, thank God you asked that question. When I was doing one rough time, when I was doing my PhD, there's an exam called a qualifying exam. You have to pick 3 subjects and you have to do a written part and an oral part. I did a 3 subjects. I really studied for them, and I passed 2. And there are three members of the committee. I passed 2. On the third one, 2 of them passed me and 1 of them failed me. So I had to retake that one. So when I didn't know who was that, but they just said I had to retake it. And after he came to me, he said I was the one that thought you should retake that one. He said to me, Lawrence UDEIGWE, you have to decide if you want to be a musician or a mathematician. So
how did he know?
He knew I was in. I played around Pittsburgh. People knew, but he just knew, and he believed that the music was distracting me. He might have been correct because
it's possible.
Yeah, no, it was the truth.
And it's possible that he could have just been a hater.
It could, yeah. But what he believed that if I had just focused on math, that I would have been way more excellent or better than I was, which is true. But I reminded him, I told him, hey, there are people in this program who had kids, who have like 5 kids or 3 kids.
Yeah, do you tell them to choose between
the
kids and
so you can't tell me to choose at this point in time. This is coming out of me. This is me. So you can't tell me to choose between that. And he said, okay. At the end, we made up, but I had to retake the exam.
So that was one.
I passed.
And in his face.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you're still making music. Show him this interview.
I know.
In your face. I'm not coming to your school. I don't like math.
So that's it. Yeah. So it's been a challenge, and the one of the toughest parts is sometimes I have to pull back to fulfill one part, like to fulfill that math, because right now I'm not making money from music yet. I have just to come out of that. But very soon, I hope I'm not making as much money as I want to.
I think that's what.
Yes, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So sometimes I just have to focus on my daytime job and say, okay, for this few months or this semester, let me not do music. Like the time I went to MIT, I was invited to be an MLK visiting associate professor there. I had
Martin Luther King.
Yes, yeah. So
let's call it.
Martin Luther King.
Our viewers did know.
Exactly. Yes, Martin Luther King. Yeah. So
MLK, they think it's Benz.
Yeah. Okay.
Like
yes.
Yeah.
So they choose that they usually choose maybe 8 people visiting professors, usually people of African American descent from all over the world, So they get like maybe 2,000 applications and they choose 8. So I was chosen, and I went there. So I'm a mathematician, but the department that chose to work with me was the brain and cognitive science department.
Interesting.
Yeah, because my research, let's just call it an equation I worked on, is an equation for modeling how the synapses between neurons in the brain change, So from there, I got very interested in neuroscience. So I found a research that I could work on with them. So they invited me and I went there. I stayed for 1 year. For that 1 year, I did not do any music, And after that, I was going to stay an extra year, but I missed New York. So I came back to New York. And since then, I've remained like an affiliate at MIT. I've remained a visiting faculty member at that
Amazing.
Department of Brain and Cognitive Science. And
Amazing.
when I was there, I taught one course that I got an award for.
Which is?
It's called Elements of Good Theory in Neuroscience. It was very fulfilling. I know you didn't ask me about that one, babe.
No. My brother, they go.
Yeah, it was very fulfilling.
I'm intrigued. I enjoyed. I'm listening to. Very few occasions do you have me and enjoy. Yeah.
Thank you. It was very fulfilling because you see professors have taught there for 30 years. They don't get such awards. So
say it. You can say it. You're in Nigeria.
Yes.
They don't send their papa.
Yeah.
Are they here?
Yeah. So I taught the course. I had a co-instructor. I designed the course, and I had two co-instructors who visited the class and taught some parts with me. But we won an award, and when I saw it, I'm like, wow. So
it's amazing.
Yeah. So yeah. I can't remember your question, but
no. You answered the question. I asked about one of the difficult points for music for you, and it was when you had to almost choose between.
Exactly.
You know. Yeah. That said, now you seem to be heavily focused on music.
Yes.
Right. You're in Nigeria. You're shooting videos. You're doing all these things, re-recording, meeting people.
Yes.
And you're making things happen for you musically.
Yeah.
How does that feel? And what's the next step for it?
It feels very good. It feels rewarding. I've been in this game for a long time. Some people who don't blow. People I said never born them way when I started.
Yes.
Yeah, but it's okay. I mean, but it feels really good. It feels really good to have people. I'm gradually building a community in Lagos. I would love to do more music in Lagos and to gradually represent my music to the world. Amazing. As Nigerian music.
Amazing.
So it feels very good. It feels very rewarding. The sound and Lagos musicians are great. I would say I'll put them on the same level as New York musicians. New York musicians, like people from all over the world, come to New York to play jazz. I think Lagos is going to become the place where people from all over the world come to make Afrobeats and every type of pop music.
Question.
That's what I hear. Yeah.
Now, this is something nobody speaks on, right? Being a learned person in its literal term, you must have done some research in terms of jazz and with Nigerian stuff.
Yes.
Afrobeat.
Yes.
Afrobeat. The actual Afrobeat, by the greatest Fela Anikulapo Kuti.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that's jazz?
It's jazz. He was a jazz musician. His kids, his children, they can't do what they're doing without having jazz training. Made Kuti plays jazz. Whenever I listen to his stuff, it's jazz.
So you do not think Afrobeat is a thing? You think
no, Afrobeat, jazz? Okay, I see that's why you're asking. It's jazz. But what changes a genre? Like Fela obviously has a very solid jazz foundation, but he introduced something to it that nobody had done. He introduced rhythm, not even percussion, that's rhythm, like that syncopated African rhythm, and in particular syncopated Yoruba rhythm, because Yoruba rhythm is one beautiful thing about Yoruba rhythms is that it's 4/4. I don't know it's 1, 2, 3, 4. It can fit neatly into the jazz 1, 2, 3, 4. Some other rhythms like Igbo rhythm is very 6/8. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like
in threes.
In threes and in eights. So for that reason, he was able to just take those rhythm and put a lot of them into his music, which gives it that funk feel, but at the same time, it's not funk. It's no longer jazz, and he simplified it because it's usually like just 2 chords. You just go 1 chord and come back. Jazz is usually like when you listen to hip hop, they're just going on. Sorry, bebop. They're going all over the place, like change chords like 20 times before the song finishes. So in that sense, it's not jazz, but in the sense of the melodies, the harmony, there is jazz in it.
Absolutely.
But it's still authentically what it is, Afrobeat. Yeah.
Amazing. What's the next step for UDEIGWE as an artist?
As an artist, the next step, I'm just taking it gradually. I just want people to hear my music, to hear my voice, my sound. So I'm working on a single which we actually we recorded live today.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's called Falling. Falling is going to drop sometime either this month or early September. And then after that, I'm working on an album that's going to drop in December or early January. Yeah.
Amazing.
So, yes.
We are definitely looking forward to that.
Thank you.
I want to appreciate you for coming through.
Thank
I want
you.
to appreciate your presence, and it's a pleasure meeting you both
you very
in the
much.
academic space. And be that as it may, you deserve celebration on every front.
Thank you. As
Right?
we all do. As we all do.
Man. I appreciate your presence.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this. As a Nigerian
Yes.
who has conquered academically,
Mm-hmm.
one, and then conquered music to a
Yes.
certain level, right? How would you advise the next generation trying to get into both spaces?
Into both spaces. Okay. People who are trying to do what I've done, or people like
UDEIGWE is not only a mathematician, he is also a jazz musician.
Okay.
So as one person, I don't know if you
Yeah.
noticed, all through the conversation,
Yeah.
I've
Yes.
blended this
And I-
into one
And
person.
I like that.
Yeah,
Yes,
so-
I think there are three things over the years that I've noticed that is needed in order to keep going. The first one is hard work. Of course, hard work.
Yes.
The second one is patience.
Mm.
And then the third one is not worrying about organization. What do I mean? If you come back to, if you just went to work in a bank and you come back, you have a piano, you feel like playing the piano, play the piano. Don't worry about the fact that you're you're a banker. You know, if you're trying to become a banker who plays the piano, or you want to brand yourself as this banker who plays the piano, just keep doing both of them. At a point in time,
It will merge.
It will merge. It's going to define itself for you, and you become that person. Yes, yeah. So that's my advice for them. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you very much,
you
Quincy.
guys. Look forward to the live session.
Yeah.
Trust me, it will definitely blow your mind. It's been UDEIGWE. My name is Quincy Jones, and we're out.
Thank you, Quincy. Hey everyone, I'm UDEIGWE. I'm right here at Echooroom. Please like, share, and subscribe. Do it.